Guys, it's Morgan here from Life Literacy Right, and today I'm going to talk about how we are preparing for Christmas in our house and how we are embracing minimalism at the same time, but also trying to be budget conscious and working towards our debt freedom journey. So stay tuned. Hello guys, it's been a bit. So I have spent the last month October trying to not spend money, and I talked about it in a previous video. I called it my no spend October, and I kept talking about maybe November if I could make it. And I will say I did. I made it through October without spending any extra money beyond our groceries and gas. And I learned a lot of things in the process, and I'm taking the knowledge that I learned with me in this month of November as we're getting ready for the holidays. And while I hope the background behind me looks lovely and festive, it is actually not here to be Christmas decoration. It is here to represent what I am getting rid of, okay? And you might look behind me and you may think, those are gorgeous, like I love that tree, or it's so cute. Why would you get rid of that stuff? Well, that's what I'm gonna talk about today, is kind of where is my head at, where's my mentality, how do we embrace minimalism and let go of materialism as we head into this holiday season, and how I'm thinking a lot differently this year than I did last year. So I will start with an experience I had yesterday. I decided, I'm not like 100% no spend yet on this month, but I have not spent hardly anything. I went out once with my mom and bought like a birthday gift for myself with some money that I had, but yesterday was the first time I had been out in over like a month and a half. And I've mentioned before how much I used shopping before to help like boost my mood or my serotonin levels, or how at times it was just like out of habit, or how I would use it just for all these different reasons in my life. And not spending for a month made me very hyper aware of it and its role in my life. Well, yesterday I was out looking for a few things that I knew I wanted and needed for Christmas this year. Needs an interesting word. I knew I wanted them. I don't know if I needed them, but the thing is, with minimalism now, I'm very, very picky and choosy about what comes in our home. And so I knew I was moving our Christmas tree towards a gold decor theme, because I have had the old theme on it for probably 10 years now. And I mean, you might say, well, like, that's great. Why would you change that? It's always worked for you. Well, if you know a little bit about my story, the theme on that Christmas tree actually comes from my first marriage. And I bought it, like, originally it was my idea, the decor and everything, but I just kind of kept the old ornaments around because I didn't want to spend money on a new one. And here I am. I've been married 5 years to my husband. He's my second husband, and I love our life. I love our relationship. I love our marriage. Everything about it is so amazing, and I have other videos about that story. But I thought, you know, it's time. It's time that we make something that's our own for our household and our Christmas decor and theme. And so it was time to let go of the old and bring in some of the new, but I didn't want to spend a lot of money. So I went out yesterday. I knew some of the local stores, like our Hobby Lobby, had all their Christmas stuff half off. So I thought I could get some gold ornaments for our tree and get rid of the old red ones. And I could get like a tree skirt to match that. And then I wanted a star. Those were the three things I was looking for yesterday. So I went out with a budget, with those specific things in mind. And I will tell you guys, it's almost like I lost my appetite for shopping. And then I didn't, okay? So I'm gonna talk about both. So I think what's happening to me now is I am walking around with way more conviction than I ever did before, because of how hard I've had to work to minimalize our household. And, you know, also I think as a Christian, I'm just starting to it's interesting. The more I've let go of things in our house, the less of a hold they have on me and the less of a draw some things have had. So there's minimalism in that. And as I was walking through a Walmart store yesterday, I was there looking to see if they had a good tree topper that I needed, which I didn't find there, by the way. There was the Madonna song playing on the intercom. We are living in a material world, and I am a material girl. That just like hit my heart. It was like God just like straight up, I don't know, sent an arrow into my heart at that moment of, as Christians, we are called to be in the world, but not of the world. And, you know, Madonna had some things right. It's a material world. It is completely a material world. If you don't believe that, go out to any store right now. And we're not even near Christmas, but they are pushing everything Christmas because people want to get their minds off of 2020 and all the, you know, difficulties of this year. And they want some cheer and some happiness. And they're looking to stuff to bring that to them. And it was everywhere yesterday, every store I went to. And then as I walked into the Walmart, I thought, how am I any different from the world? Because here I am, a material girl, walking around this store looking for material things. But it's things I legit wanted, and I knew why I wanted it in my house. I wasn't just shopping without a purpose, like to shop. But I was just really convicted by that. And I was thinking about, what do I have in my household and why do I have it? And then on top of that, so here's the second benefit of last month. So it's kind of made me lose some of my taste for shopping, but also I became really driven to try and pay off our debts. So my husband and I were both in our mid-30s, but we both still have student loans. We both went to really nice colleges, and honestly, I've been teaching for 10 years, guys, and student loans, they're a beast. They're still not all paid off, even with like scholarships and all kinds of stuff. It's rough. When I went through college, nobody ever told me about that. Nobody ever told me about the pains of it. Anyways, I digress. So we still have that debt. We still have the debt of our house that we actually own quite a bit of. My husband had bought this before he had met me and been paying on it for years. So we're in a good place with our house, but it's not fully paid off. And then we have debt right now. We have legal debt. So when you're in a co-parenting relationship, sometimes things come up where spouses, other people, they have legal disagreements. So we've got legal debt. We even have some medical debt, those unexpected crazy things that happen that even if you budget for with your emergency fund. Like last summer, our daughter dropped a bird bath on her toe and it swelled up, and we had to take her to the ER and get it x-rayed and make sure nothing was broken, and you know, $1,000 medical debt. You know, it's things like that that just add up. And so we have been working really hard to pay down all of that debt. And I thought up to this point we had been working with a purpose, but I realized in my no spend month how much I had probably contributed to the slow paying off versus Dave Ramsey talks about gazelle mode, where you just throw everything at it. And so I really wanted to ramp that up. I started looking around our home and thinking, what can we sell? What are things I have bought previously when I was not in gazelle mode that honestly I can let go of? Because really it's just adding to the clutter and the stuff in our home, and I can let go of it and I can have money in hand right now to throw towards debt. So that's what led me to this pile behind me. And there's kind of another side to it as well, is you always have to think about your why. Anytime you get really intense or invested in something, right? Whether it's your health or whether it's your debt, getting debt free, or whether it's your marriage or your children, you're always, in your head, you've got to think about your why. And so for me as a Christian, my why 100% on getting debt free has always been to someday have those funds freed up to be generous, and generous in so many ways. All kinds of ideas pop in my head there. Maybe even someday the ability to foster or adopt a child and help financially in that way. Maybe to give to friends and people that we see in need. Maybe to help donate to my mom's nonprofit organization, Butterfly Backpacks, to help like women in addiction recovery. Like there's so many things. I've been able to be a little bit generous here or there, but not to the levels I wish I could be. I wish I could be throwing so much more at that. And we're just not in a place. And I don't think my brain had fully made the connection that when I go out and I spend $20 here or $20 here or buy this little decor thing for our home or do this, that I am the sole person preventing this outcome that I want, my why, my generosity that I want to be at someday. And so it's like a switch flipped. Maybe it's been this whole like year, maybe it's been quarantine, maybe it's been being at home and sitting among our stuff, seeing it every day in these four walls, but things are flipping in my brain now where I'm willing to let go of more things. And so like I have behind me, this is an example. This is a tree that I had bought for my daughter's room, and it's beautiful. Like there's nothing wrong with it, right? But in a season where we still technically had those debts when I could have been paying on them, I went out and I bought this tree. It was like from Target. It was $20, okay? And then you pay for the ornaments, and then you pay for the little things, and you pay for the tree skirt and the lights, and before you know it, you've probably dropped like $40 or $50, okay? That doesn't sound like a lot, but here's the problem with my mentality. If I just thought that throughout the year, when we spread these little spending things out, it's that death by 20s. Like, oh, I'm gonna throw $20 here this holiday, or oh, I want a Christmas smelling candle for my house. I'll drop $20 there, or I'll go get lights for the outside of our house and we'll drop $60 on lights. Or, you know, it may not even be death by 20s. Maybe you're throwing out the money in death by 50s or 100s. I don't know. And I thought I did this in a time when, I don't know, I guess my brain wasn't ready. The switch hadn't flipped. And I realize now, you know, you might think, well, no, don't get rid of your daughter's tree. Well, the thing is, my daughter never really, this wasn't her thing. This didn't like mean something huge to her. I just wanted the cute decoration. I thought maybe it would create this tradition. It didn't. In fact, most of the time I was chasing after the ornaments. The kids would pull them off. And the thing is, the Bible says, don't store up for yourselves treasures on earth. Store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moth and rust do not destroy. And that's the thing. The more I realize that I get rid of, the more I see that things actually can be destroyed. These ornaments can get cracked. I can't tell you how many the kids pulled off of there and cracked and messed up. And this getting stored in our basement, it could get moldy. It could get destroyed over time. I have this second tree that I put in my son's room, and it was just, you know, it's just that decorate. I just felt like I had to decorate my house. I had to have it this way. And I'm still going, don't hear me here that I'm doing away with everything. I'm still going to have our main Christmas tree. And yes, I am going to decorate it in our theme that I wanted, the gold. But what I did is I'm working hard to sell the other things that I don't really want, that aren't contributing to our lives. I'm listing these on like local forums so that I can pay down that debt, so I can throw stuff at it, gazelle mode, and so that we can really make use and enjoy the things that we do have in our home. And I hope this makes sense. I kind of treat these videos almost like diary record or diary entries for me, so that someday I can look back on this and see where my head was at. And if you're watching along and this has helped you in any way, I'm so glad because this is just, for me, I need to see that at this point in time, I'm taking a stance and I'm saying no more. Like, stop throwing the money out. You don't have to do that. And, you know, if you came to this, I don't know what brought you to this video today if you're watching it, and I hope it's helpful to you. But what we are focusing on this Christmas is the whole spirit of Christmas for us as Christians is Jesus coming to this earth. And Jesus coming is teaching us about what's really important, right? Honoring God, loving others. And where does my tree fall into that? You know, where do these trees fall into that? Where does all this decor we decorate with? And the Grinch had some of it right? Like, maybe it doesn't come wrapped up in boxes and bows. And I'm not saying do away with gift giving. I think there are so many ways we can love others, even through gifts at this time of year. But I kind of want to do a separate video on a lot of our ideas we have for non-materialistic gifts. I think you can absolutely give gifts that are practical, like need items. Maybe a relative needs a restock on some winter clothes or books, or things like, I don't know. I'm blanking right now. But so there's need items, but what we're asking for, and we've been asking for the last couple years, and grandparents have been getting more and more on board, is experience-based gifts. Instead of buying our kids more toys, buy them dance lessons, or my son, like, my mom's looking at tennis lessons for him, or karate ideas, or maybe a family experience, like a pass to the zoo or a local museum, or, just different neat ideas that are experience-based is preferable. And it doesn't even have to be places outside of the home, right? You can have these family-based experiences, something that you could do as a family together as well. So anyways, this is where I'm at. I'm getting rid of a lot of our Christmas stuff. I will still be putting up, just a few main things, okay? There's a few things I have left that are very important to me for Christmas. I'm still gonna put up our tree. I have a nativity set my grandmother gave me years ago. I put it up every year. It's like precious to me and has no price really on it because I didn't spend anything on it. And I think like 2 other items that I'm thinking of, but the rest I've decided I'm letting it go this year, because there's a reason that every year I enjoy initially pulling Christmas stuff out and setting it up and it looks all festive, but then after the season's done, it's such a relief to me to put it all away. It feels like my house gets back together again. And I think there's something to that. While we want the stuff initially, it makes us feel good, it gives us that high. Over time, it wears on us, it wears us out, and then come January, it's like you're ready to put it away. You're ready to have things clean again. You're ready to not be overwhelmed by our stuff and our clutter. So there's ways to make this holiday whimsical without all of that stuff, and I'm going to be doing some videos going forward now on that. I'll be talking about the gifts, we'll decorate. So if you want to see all of that, just stay tuned with me, and thank you guys for watching. So I'll see you next time.